Welcome back to another Chronic Hobbies video. Let's play Eldrum Red Tide. Let's continue from last time. So last time we went through the first part of chapter 1, where we explored the burning city. Now we're lying on a hospital bed in the infirmary, Elsewhere, voices above darkness. Listen. The wounds are internal. We must act soon, or this one will perish. Listen. Speculum, scalpel, forceps. Listen. First incision. Abdominal aperture. Open your eyes. Drenched in cold sweat, you tremble and shiver as a familiar sight comes into view. 3 hooded faces above your bed, their white robes now drenched in blood. The Highland monks have cut you open, exposing your inner workings for the world to see. Their eyes wander across the gorge in your gut, which demands undivided attention. Around. Turning your head requires considerable effort and inflicts remarkable pain. All other beds are now vacant. You're the last soldier in the infirmary. There's no telling how much time has passed. Look at the monks. Marked by weariness and the pressure, they are clearly struggling to concentrate on the task at hand, which is to keep you alive. They keep poking around with their strange devices, not knowing that you are awake. Request pain relief. Taken aback, the monks manage to keep their composure. The woman says, "Quickly! Spongia! Somnifera!" Moments extend to eternity. Your eyes close. Hot water drips on your chest, and strange fumes enter your nostrils. The woman says, "The infernal boundary beckons, but we have seen that your soul is a living flame. Never let it dwindle. You will rise. Now sleep." You drift in a deep and dark void. Time passes, fragments of dreams and conversations. Darker mornings, snow outside. Your brother is here. He walks in circles, ranting and raving about something or the other. And now he's gone. Brief moments in this world, soon replaced by nightmares of blood and steel. At some point in time, you wake up. Open your eyes. The other beds are vacant. The infirmary is cold. Moonlight seeps from snow-covered windows. Your wounds have healed, though your scars are plentiful. You feel weak in the knees. Shivering, you drop to the floor like a pile of bricks. Stand up. You feel cold and famished. Trembling, you lean on the empty bed next to yours. You need clothes and a crutch. Look around. There's a wardrobe next to the front door, and a few crutches are leaning on the side of it. You look into the wardrobe. You find a heavy fur cape and a pair of fur boots in the wardrobe. You take the fur cape, you take the fur boots. You take the crutch. A few crutches are leaning on the side of the wardrobe. You grab one of them. You equip the wooden staff, you equip the fur mantle, and you equip the light fur boots. The war is over. You have been sleeping for a long time. Your body is frail and weak. You are cold, hungry, and tired. Find something to eat. There must be something to eat around here. You open the front door. The icy wind hits you when the door swings open. Snow lies thick across the military outpost. You go outside. The snow shines white below the crescent moon. The campgrounds on the hills are surrounded by palisades. Dressed in a white robe, a monk stands by himself in front of you, stargazing in solitude. You approach the monk. Hearing you approach, the monk speaks, though he keeps his gaze fixed on the stars above. The sky bleeds, doom on Temcaris. You look up. Like a red scar across the black firmament, a shining spear is outstretched among the stars of night. The monk says, "Strange, isn't it? I've never seen such a thing before." "Neither have I, but it was foretold. Wounded by war, the highlands are cursed." "Who are you?" Don't remember? Don't remember me? Suppose it was a long time ago. I am Pater Heinrich, Chief Surgeon of Riverside Outpost. Where am I? This is Riverside Outpost. You were brought here from the battleground of Lowgate. 9 months have passed since the war has ended. Where's my brother? Alec Barnabas. He left the outpost a few days ago. Haven't seen him since then. What happened? The final clash with the foreign army brought them to their knees. Broken armada sailed away. The war was over, but the wounds had taken their toll. You were mostly unconscious during the months that followed. Do you have any food? He points to the campfire down the hill. Speak to the exiles. Some rabbit stew was boiling in their pot. Be wary. Some of them are heretics. Heretics? What do you mean? Doomsayers, like most of us. But they take it too far. They worship false god and prophet. As you well know, there's no law against idolatry. If you wish to know more, find out for yourself. Farewell, Peter Heinrich. A campfire is burning near the gates and the watchtowers. A dozen people are huddled around the flames and a pot of stew. You approach the campfire. A one-eyed woman is holding court, lecturing the haggard exiles. She speaks with a foreign accent. The prophecy of Kemet, unraveled by Wotan the Illustrious, son of the Sky Serpent, gateway to the next world. The others listen, glancing at you with tired faces. The sermon is quite long, guys. I don't really want to listen to it. Should I? The mission here is to get the rabbit stew, so I'm gonna be rude and just eat the rabbit stew. I really don't care about her sermon. I'm sorry. You eat rabbit stew. You reach for a bowl and a spoon, exposing the mark of allegiance on your forearm. The exiles take notice. One of them says, Take as much as you like, soldier. You scrape off the leftovers of rabbit stew from the iron pot. Not the worst you have tasted. Again, guys, I'm not gonna listen to this woman's sermon. I'm gonna leave. You head back to the infirmary. The moon and the sky serpent shine bright on the snowy campgrounds. The monk is no longer around. Following in his footprints, you walk up the hill to the infirmary. The front door is closed. Smoke is rising from the chimney. You enter the infirmary. It's warm inside. The old monk is hunched on a bed by the fireplace, poking the flames with an iron hook. You go to bed. You rest for a few hours until the break of dawn. By the time you wake up, the flames in the fireplace have dwindled, and the monk is no longer present. Memories of another infernal nightmare fade like dying embers left in his wake. You look around. All the beds are empty. Daylight seeps in from the covered windows. You leave the infirmary. A young woman in a white robe opens the front door and steps inside. She smiles.
You're awake. The gods have shown mercy.
The monk is taking off her boots, she says.
The colonel wants to see you. Better not keep him waiting.
Who are you?
Oh, pardon my manners. I'm new here. Graduated from the monastery last week. They call me Sister Agatha. Let me know if you need medical supplies or treatment.
She looks around at the empty beds.
Things are still quiet, so it shouldn't be a problem.
Where's the colonel? The monk replies.
You'll find him in the fortress on the hill.
Good to know. Farewell. Step outside. The snow lies thick on the riverside outpost. The cloudy skies above the forest hills are gray. You look around. Militia soldiers are posted on the watchtowers along the palisades. Long shadows are cast by the gallows and the fortress on the hilltop. You walk away from the infirmary. The campfire is out, and the exiles are gone. The gateway to the outpost is closed. You approach the gate. The guard shouts at you from the watchtower. No one may leave or enter the outpost until further notice. Ask the guard to open the gates. The guard in the tower shakes his head. No, not before the word is given. He turns his attention to the outer perimeter. You head back to the campfire. You approach the riverbank. The embankment of the frozen river is kept under the watchful eye of a soldier who is guarding a shack near the jetty. A merchant is hawking his wares from the back of his ox-drawn carriage. Talk to the soldier. Back on your feet, huh? Things have been quiet lately. Nothing to report. Explore the proving grounds. The stone walls around the proving ground are half buried in snow. There's no one else here. You reminisce. You have never held a sword before you set foot on the proving grounds. The first thing they gave you was a wooden stick. You and your brother were always competing, and by the end of the year, you were proficient with the claymore. Not only that, the Barnabas brothers graduated at the top of the class. Ultimately, you won by a narrow margin. You head back to the campfire. Then you approach the fortress on the hilltop. Frozen stiff, a dead body dangles from the gallows on the hilltop. Guarded by militia soldiers, the entrance to the riverside fort is flanked by the Highland banner on both sides. You talk to the guards. The colonel waits your arrival, soldier. You look at the Highland banner. The Highland banner is white, black, and green. 3 objects are depicted: a scythe, a claymore, and a wolf's paw. The flag is flown by all provinces of the Roburg city-state. You enter the fortress on the hilltop. You step through a corridor to a great hall where a fire pit is burning. The colonel sits on a wooden throne behind a sturdy table. Dozens of militia soldiers are lined up along the walls. Pater Heinrich sits on a chair next to the colonel. You report for duty. The colonel is old and stocky with short, gray hair. He was placed in charge of the outpost long before you received basic training. The officer speaks in a solemn voice. The time has come to honor the deeds you have done, soldier. You kneel before the throne. The monk takes a branding iron from the fire pit. Scalding hot, it burns your skin below the mark of allegiance on your left arm. In honor of your service in the war against Cad Malon, you are hereby branded with the mark of triumph. You endure the pain. Saluted by the other soldiers, you grimace in pain on your knees. The monk takes another branding iron from the fire pit. You have served well, soldier, but your body and mind are broken. Once more, your skin burns below the mark of allegiance. You are hereby branded with the mark of weariness. You ask what it means. The colonel replies, your time has come. Your time has came and went on the battlefield, young soldier. We cannot afford to keep a cripple on the payroll. You are now relieved from active duty, but there are still ways to prove your worth. You ask what he has in mind. Your brother has not been seen for a few days. Unlike you, Barnabas remains a useful asset. Find him, and your efforts will be rewarded. I found my brother, and anything else you can tell me? I found my brother. Anything else I can tell you? You can tell me? The monk says, rise, young soldier, and let it be known that we recognize your valiant sacrifice. All of us are suffering the aftermath of war. Measures of austerity must be taken, unfortunate as it may be. You stand up. The colonel says, speak to the paymaster if if you want to collect your wages. Ask the quartermaster about your belongings. That'll be all. You talk to the quartermaster. Militia soldiers patrol the hallway to the quartermaster's office. The young man sits behind his desk, leafing through the pages of a thick ledger. You retrieve your belongings. The quartermaster picks up the ledger. Having flipped through the pages for a while, he finally looks up and says, "Here we are. One moment, please." He seeks out a wooden crate and drags it across the floor. "This one's yours. Here's the key." You take the key. You unlock the crate and take a look inside. Having used the small iron key, you remove the padlock and open the wooden crate. The first thing you notice is that your equipment is missing. No sword and no armor. The box is big enough. They should be in there, but this is not the case. You ask about the missing equipment. The quartermaster takes a look in his leisure. Says here, your things were collected and boxed up when you got here. This was about 9 months ago. It's all there, far as I know. What you see is what you get. You complain about the missing equipment. The quartermaster replies, "My apologies. I don't know what happened, but..." He clears his throat. "Armor and weapons are in short supply. Same goes for the people who make them, not to mention bronze and iron. Hard times, you see." You take the journal. You take the book. It contains various texts that were written by your sister. Some of the pages have been ripped out, possibly due to embarrassment. You take your sister's birth certificate. You take the scroll. This document proves that your sister was born on the western islands of Chris. You take your birth certificate. You take the damaged scroll. This document proves that you are a native commoner from the western islands of Chris. You take the rope. You take the torch. You leave the quartermaster's office. You talk to the paymaster. Militia soldiers guard the entrance to the paymaster's office. The old accountant pours over a withered tome on his desk. Scrolls are stacked up on the shelves behind him. Wooden coffers and iron strong boxes are scattered on the floor. You collect your wages. Let's see. The old man turns the pages in his ledger. Yes. Finally, he puts down the 3 coin pouches on the table. These are the wages from the past 9 months. And here's a little something for the mark of triumph. In addition, you are entitled to severance pay. 1 installment, mind you. So that's it? The militia no longer pays me? How am I supposed to make a living? The paymaster replies, It was not my decision. How you make a living is not my concern. Listen, you're no longer on the monthly payroll, but it could be worse. You're still one of us. Got a place to stay? Come and go as you please. How can I get back on the monthly payroll? The old man ponders your question for a while. He replies, Soldiers who are branded with the mark of weariness will usually look for work elsewhere. Depends on circumstance. They might end up in the poorhouse, but you're still young, so just try to impress the people in charge. Show them that you're fit
to be reinstated to active duty.
Ask about your brother. The paymaster consults the ledger and replies,
I like Barnabas collected his wages before he went out on patrol.
Glancing down at the columns in his ledger, he adds,
He took all of it, down to the very last coin.
You leave the paymaster's office. You enter the barracks. You follow a crowd of soldiers into the circular dormitory where wolf hides were laid out among the scattered luggage on the stone floor. You search the barracks. You find a small book. Seems like someone left it behind. You take the book. This is the book, guys. It's called The Law of the Land. Basic field manual for new recruits. Follow these guidelines and you are bound to rise through the ranks of the Roberg militia. Common sense. Thieves and bandits must reap what they sow. Children must be spared from violence, for they lack wisdom. Only the most dire circumstances will justify any exceptions to this rule. Slavery is forbidden. Vice, gambling is forbidden. Whores must stay behind closed doors. Opium is forbidden. Mayhem. Murder is permissible under two circumstances. The first is crisis, defending yourself or others from harm. The second is by mutual consent to a duel. Gladiatorial combat is forbidden. Corruption. Soldiers who take bribes or prey upon the livelihood of commoners will be imprisoned. Disloyalty. Disobedience is disloyal. Soldiers who stray too far will soon hang. The heads of brazen deserters must be severed. Jurisdiction. Knights may not intervene where militia holds dominion. They are especially prohibited from intervention in common affairs. Knights who overstep their bounds shall be met with proportionate counterforce. Commoners like us may not set foot on the Lord's Peninsula unless permission is granted beforehand. Violations of this law carries penalty of death. In cases where jurisdiction overlap, matters are settled in conference between cathedral and monastery. Transgressions may be forgiven due to extenuating circumstances, judged on a case-by-case basis. Collusion. Looks can be deceiving. Alignment is a nebulous maze. Collaboration is costly. We suffer, you hang. Keep it simple. Earn a soldier's wage. Don't get tangled up in the lies of serpents. It's a pretty short book. Your proof of citizenry. The two things that are added are the mark of triumph and the mark of weariness. It highlights your service as a soldier. Okay. Quests have been updated. You get some rest. You lie down on the stone floor, curled up in a wolf hide. You take a deep breath and keep your eyes closed. And close your eyes, sorry. The murmuring echoes of laughter and conversation lulls you to sleep. Darkness and fire, bones and hash. Soaked in cold sweat, you awaken from nightmares of blood and steel. Trembling, you get back on your feet. You look around. Off-duty soldiers are spending their downtime in a circular dormitory, where wolf hides laid out among the scattered luggage on the stone floor. You ask the soldiers about your brother. Resting on a wolf hide and smoking a pipe, a middle-aged soldier says, "People do a lot of talking, but as far as I'm concerned, Alec is a good soldier. Wish I could tell you what happened to him." He exhales a cloud of smoke. "The world is falling. The world is falling apart. Might as well assume the worst." A scarred young veteran lies outstretched on a fur cloak, she says.
People swear by your brother. Not me. I see him for what he really is, a thug. No loyalty, no discipline, not built for this life. Make of that what you will.
A few soldiers are playing cards. One of them says, "Alec, I really find him in a brothel somewhere." They all start laughing. The one who spoke before says, "Relax, we're just joking." A bulky old veteran with a bushy beard sharpens his claymore with a whetstone. He says, "I like Barnabas. He's a war hero. And so are you. Don't let anybody tell you different." You leave the barracks. You head to the infirmary. You have returned to the infirmary of the Riverside Outpost. The front door is closed. Smoke is rising from the chimney. You enter the infirmary. Sister Agatha is alone in the dormitory. Wrapped in a wolf hide, she lies on the floor in front of the burning fireplace, writing on a parchment with ink and quill. You talk to Sister Agatha. You approach the woman in the white robe without looking up from the parchment on the floor. She says,
What do you want, soldier?
You purchase medical supplies. I recommend you buy 2. You can go ahead and sell your silver coins here. You head to the proving grounds. You notice that most of the soldiers in the outpost are seasoned veterans. Among them is your former teacher, who guided your hands in the way of swordsmanship during your first year in the militia. The old man seems to be heading towards the proving grounds. You catch up to him. Your former teacher is carrying a bundle of wooden swords. He doesn't seem to recognize you. "Salute, young soldier!" "Long time no see." The bearded martial instructor halts on the riverbank. It takes a moment before he remembers. Ah, young Barnabas, forgive me, but I've trained many recruits over the years. It is no surprise that you did not recognize me, for I am but a shadow of my former self. He shakes his head. The mark of weariness, a sad sight to behold. Most crumble under the burden of injured pride, but some persevere and rise to greater heights. Seek me out on the proving grounds if you wish to rebuild. Not many young bloods among the soldiers here. Seems like the militia should fetch some new recruits. He nods and sighs. Right you are. But good help is hard to find, especially now. Ask him about your brother. The old man gives it some thought. I haven't seen him for a week or so, but I'm sure he'll turn up soon. Salute. Come hell or high water, the militia prevails. The old man continues on his way down the riverbank. You look around. The embankment of the frozen river is kept under the watchful eye of a soldier who is guarding a shack near the jetty. A merchant is hawking his wares from the back of an ox-drawn carriage. You head to the proving grounds. The proving grounds are enclosed by walls of granite. Quite a few militia soldiers are busy sparring and exercising here. The snow on the ground has turned to sludge. You look around. Your old martial instructor is here. He is currently preoccupied with a sparring session between two soldiers. One of them looks like a new recruit. The other one is clearly a seasoned veteran. You speak to the martial instructor. You're here. Good. That's a start. Hold on a second. He turns to the sparring partners and shouts, Gentlemen, you will have to proceed without me. The martial instructor looks back at you. This takes priority. Put the mark of weariness on the master, swordsman. Ha! We're gonna show him what you're made of. Don't expect too much. He laughs. I've trained a few dozen masters in my day. Some of them are superior to the Barnabas brothers, but not many. Let's begin. The martial instructor picks up a wooden sword. Right. Start with the basics. A sound beating. All of a sudden, he dashes towards you, unleashing a flurry of strikes. You defend yourself. Defensive stance here. Out of breath and aching all over, you feel just about done. How's that for starters? He laughs. Lesson number 1. Pain is nothing. A soldier must acknowledge no pain. Understood. He rifles through a satchel. Next lesson. Drinking. He hands over a clay jug. Gildebra, the strongest ale on the Western Highlands. Bottoms up. You drink. The strong ale is despicable and mesmerizing. The martial instructor explains. A soldier must drink so that wounds are soon forgotten, and he must lose control. He approaches death when his form is rigid. No man shall predict his movement. A drunken soldier will forget his woes and split you sideways from angles unseen. Force of habit. Perhaps the most dangerous of all forces. When the walls are closing in, your patterns of movement are no longer what they once were. The world is chaotic by nature. That brings me to the third and final lesson. I'm listening. The martial instructor begins a sequence of sword strikes, punctuating each sentence with a violent slash from different angles. He explains. A soldier must be a force of nature. His exertions are mind-bending. He swings the blade like a river delta. His form is tempestuous, overextending if need be. Always unrelenting, never cautious. No holds barred. Exactly. Crouching down, he fetches another jug of ale from the satchel. He takes a swig and wipes off his beard. That hit the spot. Now let's try again. This time I want you to come at me with everything you've got. Whenever you're ready, you attack. Aggressive stance. That's enough. You did pretty well, all things considered. Remember, just throw yourself into the fray. Reckless abandon, it's how the war was won. The martial instructor salutes you. You salute the martial instructor. The proving grounds are enclosed by walls of granite. Quite a few militia soldiers are busy sparring and exercising. The snow on the ground has turned to sludge. You try to speak to the martial instructor. Your old teacher has turned his attention to a couple of sparring sessions, giving advice and commentary as he walks back and forth between them. You look for a sparring partner. There doesn't seem to be anyone available. As you walk across the proving grounds, you feel as if you might learn something from just watching and training sessions as they unfold. You observe. You spend some time observing the sparring soldiers. You pick up a few subtleties of melee combat. Nothing you haven't seen before, but sometimes one must be reminded of lessons already learned. You take a swig of Gelderbra. You take another swig of Gelderbra. You head back to the riverbank. As you're about to leave the proving grounds behind, you cross paths with a woman wearing a winged helmet. She seems vaguely familiar. Her blonde braids flutter as she turns to face you with a smile.
By the great wolf, you have recovered.
Indeed I have. Took me long enough, but here I am. Still smiling, the woman with the winged helmet nods.
Back on the proving grounds already? That's dedication. Color me impressed.
Aside from my old teacher, it seems like people don't have time for a broken veteran like me.
Say it ain't so. You can spar with me if you want. I'd be happy to give you a few pointers. It's the least I can do, considering that you and your brother saved my life back at Nogate.
Ah, so that's where I know you from. She laughs.
Figured you might have forgotten about me. Back in the burning city, damsels in distress were a dime a dozen, I suppose. But where are my manners? I never did introduce myself. Claudia Bergstadtier is my name.
It's good to see you again, Claudia. Shall we get started?
Sure, wait here. I'll be right back.
Claudia salutes the martial instructor as she goes to fetch a wooden sword from the pile. They exchange a few words. She nods eagerly as your old teacher seems to explain something to her, though you can't hear what they're talking about. You wait until she comes back. She approaches with a serious expression on her face.
Right, so from what I gather, your problem is not a lack of skill. What you need is to build yourself up.
Sounds about right. So what do you suggest?
Physical exercise, but that will take time. For now, there are things that I can show you, certain techniques that may unlock your inner potential. All you need to do is listen and keep an open mind.
I'm listening.
Your spirit is broken. I can see it in your eyes. But a broken spirit can be mended. You see, before I became a soldier, I was taught in the ways of my people, the mountain folk in Hydran. They taught me that mind and body are intertwined. Strength comes from within, for spirit animates flesh.
Mountain folk. So you're a barbarian. She laughs.
Yes, I suppose that's true, or at least used to be. The militia offered me a path to citizenship, and I believe it or not, I know how to read and write. Now, would you please be quiet and pay attention? I'm trying to help.
Go on.
Mountain folk are different from others because we do not worship gods. Higher beings are beyond our grasp. We stay close to nature. Animal spirits reside in each and every rock. We draw power from spirits by understanding their nature. Now close your eyes and heed the following questions.
You close your eyes and listen.
3 spirits dwell in this place. The question is, will you be quick on your feet like the wolf? Or will you crush your enemies like the bear? Or will you survey the battlefield with the eyes of an auk? The choice is yours.
Okay, guys, so as she says, you have 3 choices: the wolf spirit, the bear spirit, and the hawk spirit. The wolf spirit deals with agility, the bear spirit, strength, the hawk spirit, perception. I'm thinking I'm gonna choose the hawk spirit. As always, it's the perk that deals with perception. I don't want to spend any more points into perception, only just this 1 point, so I'll take it as this free perk from saving Goldilocks here.
Envision clouds on mountaintops. High above the forest hills you soar, given rise by wings majestic. The sky is your domain. Up here, you are untouchable.
You keep listening.
Nothing escapes you. The world below is yours for the taking. You catch sight of a moving target, and so you swoop down to snatch the unsuspecting rabbit from the hilltop. Elsewhere, the hawk lives to see another day. You may open your eyes.
You open your eyes. Slowly, the strange dream is replaced by cold reality. The noise from the proving grounds envelops you like a rising tide. Claudia stands in front of you with her arms folded,
How does it feel?
as if anything is possible.
That's the spirit. Ha ha ha. Now how about that sparring session? Bet you can't wait to show me a thing or two.
Ready when you are. Claudia steps back, adjusting her winged helmet. She says,
Good effort. You still have a long way to go. Just keep at it. You'll be back to your old self in no time.
I hope you're right. Goodbye, Claudia.
Farewell, Barnabas, and good luck out there. I'll never forget what you did for me.
Claudia Bergstadtier salutes you and walks away. You leave the proving grounds. You head to the watchtowers. Actually, you head to the infirmary. You enter the infirmary. You talk to the sister, and you ask for medical assistance. Having cleaned and patched your wounds, the monk says,
There you go. Try and be more cheerful in the future.
You head for the watchtowers. The gates to the riverside outposts are wide open. Longbowmen survey the frozen wilderness from the watchtowers. A guard is posted in the gateway, keeping an eye on the comings and goings. You talk to the guard. Rusty iron claymore is resting on his shoulder, descending from the black fur cowl. His blonde beard is tangled in thick braids. He grows, What? You ask him about your brother. Fetch me a drink, then we'll talk. Should you really be drinking on this job? Huh? That a trick question? He burps. Be a good boy and run along now. Better not come back empty-handed. Just tell me what you know about my brother. What kind of soldier got a silver tongue? Supposed to be swinging swords, not swallow them, he chuckles. Come on, I'm not an errand boy. Just give me the information, and I'll be on my way. Bet you got a house full of whores that can't get enough of that silver tongue. Go suck 'em dry, live longer like that, he burps. Go wrap your silver tongue around something else, kid. You give him the jug of Gildebraw. Snatching the clay jug like a fiend, the god's man grins. Blaze of Nirvana! This is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. He wolfs down the strong ale and wipes off his beard with the back of his hand. Much obliged. You wait for him to speak. He starts coughing. The name's Warren. Your brother's a friend of mine. He once told me about a safe house near the north of here. It's a basement near the tower mill, somewhere on the killing fields, not too far from the main road. Might be worth looking into. Serlo is already on his way. Serlo?
Yeah, he's one of us. Weakest link. But still, we stick together, cause we patrol the same area, four of us. Apex killers. Worst of the worst. We all pale in comparison to your brother, though. Except maybe Armel.
Glad to see that he's making friends. Usually not the case.
Makes friends with whores, mostly. The amount of seed he's dumping out there boggles the mind how many bastards he must have spawned.
The drunken guardsman starts laughing. It sounds like death rattles bubbling in the pits of a sewage and vomit. I can see how the two of you would get along.
Beautiful, ain't it? End of the world brought us together. Soldiers in a broken land, trying to pick up the pieces.
Killing fields? He laughs.
Used to be known as the Golden Plains, poisoned by the godless invaders, left barren till the end of time. All new war out there, see? While you are sleeping, the rest of us huddled to live in it.
What do you think might have happened?
There's no telling what kind of trouble he's gotten himself into. Regardless, we're gonna see to it that he makes it back in one piece.
You leave the outpost. Okay guys, the video is getting to an hour, so I'm gonna cut it here. And next time, we'll go out and search for our brother, Alec Barnabas. Thank you for watching another episode of Chronic Hobbies. And this is Let's Play Eldrum Red Tide. Again, if you like the video, please like, subscribe, share the video with your friends. Much appreciated. Goodbye.